The military police arrested me at Reveille. Your wife and kids testified against you. But when the Secretary of Defense arrived, everything changed forever. If this story grips your heart, hit like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Revenge with Jack for more unforgettable dramas. I'm Glenn Rowley, 45, a senior logistics manager at a software company in Omaha, Nebraska. My life was a blueprint of the American dream. $200,000 a year, a brick colonial in Dundee paid off early from a lucky stock trade, and a Dodge Ram parked beside my wife's Lexus. Joy, 36, was my spark, vibrant, quick-witted, with a smile that could light up a room and a knack for turning our backyard into a Pinterest board. She ran a boutique PR firm, spinning stories for Omaha's startups, her charm closing deals faster than I could sign contracts. Our twins, Ethan and Sophie, 14, were straight-A athletes, their soccer trophies crowding our mantle. Weekends were for grilling ribeye country music on the patio, Joy's hand in mine under a Nebraska sunset. I thought we were untouchable. Then the cracks started showing and my world turned to ash. It began with a notification. Joy's phone, charging on the kitchen island, pinged at 2 a.m. She was asleep upstairs, her lavender diffuser humming. I was up reviewing a supply chain report when the screen flashed Tyler Branson. Her biggest client, a 50-year-old CEO of a local fintech firm, all slick suits and sharper ambition. The message read, "Can't wait for tomorrow." 10 p.m. The Magnolia. My gut twisted. The Magnolia was a boutique hotel downtown, not a client meeting spot. Why was he texting her like that? Why so late? I didn't touch her phone. I'm not the jealous type, not after 18 years of marriage. But doubt crept in a slow venom. Joy woke up, kissed my cheek, said she had a pitch prep that night. I nodded, but my eyes followed her, the new gold bracelet glinting, a dress sharper than her usual, her phone now glued to her hand. Over the next month, the signs piled up. Late nights she blamed on client dinners. A new perfume, musky and bold, replacing her soft floral. Posts on X, cryptic quotes about living for the moment, tagged with Omaha nightlife spots I'd never seen her visit. She'd curl up beside me, whisper she loved me, but her touch felt distant, like a memory she was reciting. One night, I couldn't ignore it. Joy was working late until midnight. I logged into our shared bank account, telling myself I was just checking bills. A charge caught my eye, $500 at a lingerie boutique, paid with a card I didn't recognize. Not our joint account, not her business card. My heart slammed against my ribs. I dug deeper, finding hotel charges, $300 here, $400 there, buried in her PR firm's expense reports labeled client entertainment. I cross-checked her calendar. No client meetings those nights, just out of office. I shut my laptop, the Omaha skyline flickering through the blinds, a storm brewing outside. I didn't confront her. Nebraska's divorce laws favor evidence in fault cases, and if Joy was cheating, I needed proof, cold, hard, court-ready proof. No shared debt, no alimony fight, but her firm was pulling in $150,000 a year, and I wasn't letting her walk away with my savings while she played me. I went tactical, like I was mapping a supply chain. Ordered a GPS tracker online. A dime-sized device I slipped under her Lexus's driver's seat at 3 a.m., the neighborhood silent, except for my pulse. The tracker showed her car at the Magnolia twice that week when she'd sworn she was at a networking event. I found a receipt in her gym bag, $200 for a silk robe cash payment. My blood boiled, but I stayed calm, a predator waiting for the kill. The first twist hit at a company gala hosted by my firm at a riverfront venue. Joy was there, radiant in sapphire, working the room like a pro. Tyler Branson showed up, his wife, Ellen Branson, a quiet charity organizer, on his arm. I watched them across the crowd, Joy and Tyler, their eyes locking, too long, a smile too private. They slipped to a balcony, thinking no one saw. I followed, staying in the shadows of the string lights. His hand brushed her arm, her laugh low and intimate. "You're dangerous," she whispered. He grinned. "You love it." My fist clenched, but I held back, slipping inside the Platte River, glinting like a blade below. I hired a private investigator the next morning. Sam Carver, a former cop with a gravelly voice and a knack for blending in. I met him at a diner on Dodge Street, sliding him a folder with the bank charges and tracker data. "Get me proof," I said, my voice low. "Photos, videos, whatever holds up." Sam sipped his coffee, his eyes sharp. 10 days, Glenn. If she's stepping out, you'll know." I nodded, the diner's neon sign buzzing, my wedding ring heavy on my finger. Sam was fast. 6 days later, he texted me to meet at a coffee shop in Old Market. He pushed a manila envelope across the table, his face unreadable. "You sure?" he asked. I nodded, throat dry. Inside were photos: Joy and Tyler at a hotel bar, her hand on his knee. Another of them entering a suite, his fingers grazing her back. A video clip, grainy but clear, showed them in a parking garage, kissing against her Lexus, her hands in his hair. I stared numb as rain pattered the shop's window. "There's more," Sam said. "Tyler's using a burner phone. Texts go back 4 months." I pocketed the envelope, my voice steady. "Keep digging." Joy played the perfect wife at home. She'd grill Sam and pour Pinot, laugh at Ethan's soccer stories. "You're my everything, Glenn," she'd say, her eyes soft. I'd smile, but inside I was fracturing. I started recording our talks, a hidden app on my phone, catching every lie. "You seem quiet," she said one night, tracing my jaw. "Work stress." I lied, nodding. "You'd tell me if something was wrong, right?" she pressed. I nodded again, but my heart was iron. The second twist came from my assistant, Nate Callahan, a 27-year-old tech whiz who joined my team last year. We were grabbing beers after a late meeting, the bar humming with country tunes. "Boss, you okay?" Nate asked, his eyes sharp. I shrugged, sipping my IPA. "Just life." He leaned in, voice low. "I saw Joy's firm on a client list at Tyler's company. They're pitching a merger with a shady offshore investor. Smells dirty." My grip tightened on the bottle. "How dirty?" Nate glanced around. "Money laundering vibes. Tyler's been dodging audits for years." I nodded, my mind racing. Was Joy just cheating, or was she tangled in Tyler's financial web? I didn't tell Joy I knew. Our 18th anniversary was coming, a big bash at a country club in Elkhorn, Joy's vision of elegance. I decided that's where it would unfold, not a shouting match, but a calculated strike, like a supply chain rerouted at the last second. Sam would be there, posing as a bartender, ready to serve Tyler with a subpoena if needed. My lawyer, Diane Walsh, a no-nonsense litigator, said we had enough for a clean divorce. "Adultery's a lock," she said, flipping through Sam's photos. "You'll keep your assets, no alimony." But I wasn't after clean. I wanted truth. Why Joy? Why us? I started therapy with Dr. Mark Hensley, a blunt ex-Marine who didn't coddle. "You're grieving the life you thought you had," he said, leaning back in his chair. "Rage is normal. So is love." Love. I hated that I still loved her. Every night beside her in bed, her breathing soft, I wrestled with it: fury, longing, betrayal. It was tearing me apart, but I kept my mask on, planning, waiting. The third twist blindsided me. I was clearing our garage looking for Ethan's old cleats when I found a locked box under Joy's yoga mats. I pried it open with a crowbar. Inside, a burner phone, no passcode. Texts from Tyler, months old. "You're my escape, Joy." Her replies: "I can't keep doing this. I love Glenn." My eyes burned. She'd known it was wrong. She'd still chosen it. Another text from an unknown number: "Tell Tyler to back off or I go public." My pulse spiked. Someone else knew. A threat, an ally. I pocketed the phone, the garage's fluorescent light buzzing overhead. Joy came home that night, shaken. "A client dropped us," she said, pouring wine with unsteady hands. "No reason, just out." I watched her, searching for guilt, but she just looked rattled. "Tough break," I said, my voice flat. She nodded, curling up beside me, her warmth a cruel echo. The anniversary was 3 days away. I'd wait. The night before the party, Joy sat me down, her eyes red. "Glenn, I've been distant," she said, her voice trembling. "Work's been hell, but you're my home." My heart stopped. Was this a confession, a lifeline? "We'll talk after tomorrow," I said, my voice steady. She nodded, her fingers brushing mine, a spark of the Joy I'd married. I held her gaze, searching for the truth, but all I saw was a shadow of the woman I'd sworn to love forever. The country club gleamed, chandeliers, white linens, the twins laughing with friends. Joy moved through the crowd, radiant, oblivious to the fuse I'd lit. Tyler was there, Ellen at his side, his smile smug. Sam was behind the bar, his eyes locked on me, waiting for my signal. I gripped my whiskey, pulse steady, knowing tomorrow would break us all. The country club pulsed with life, crystal glasses, clinking laughter weaving through the twang of a country band. Joy owned the room, her burgundy dress a magnet for every eye, her smile a masterclass in charm. I stood by the open bar, whiskey burning my throat, watching her glide between guests like she hadn't spent months lying to my face. Tyler Branson was across the floor, his navy suit sharp, his wife Ellen chatting with a city councilman oblivious to the predator beside her. My pulse was a steady drum. My speech folded in my pocket, a loaded gun. Sam Carver, my PI, was behind the bar, his bartender vest a perfect cover, his eyes flicking to me for the signal. Our 18th anniversary was a stage and I was ready to pull the curtain down. But the truth had a way of rewriting the script. I played the part, shaking hands, grinning through toasts about the perfect couple. My buddy Matt Hensley, a warehouse manager who'd known me since college, clapped my back. 18 years, Glenn. You're making it look easy. I forced a laugh, my eyes on Joy. She caught my gaze, her smile softening a flicker of something guilt. Fierce, she turned away, hugging Sophie, who was showing off her new soccer jersey. Ethan was nearby, snapping selfies with friends, his grin wide. The twins were my anchor, but even they felt distant tonight, like pieces of a puzzle I couldn't solve. The first twist came during the cocktail hour. I was by the club's patio, the Nebraska night, thick with cedar and starlight, when I overheard Joy's voice behind a trellis. "Tyler, this ends now," she hissed, her tone sharp as a blade. "I'm done lying." My blood froze. I edged closer, hidden by the shadows. "You're panicking," Tyler said, his voice smooth, taunting. "No one knows Joy. Keep it that way." She scoffed, her heels clicking. "You think I'm scared of you? I'm protecting what matters." Her words hit like a punch. Was she breaking it off, or covering her tracks? I stayed still, my whiskey glass sweating in my hand. I didn't follow her. I found Sam, his face grim under the bar's dim lights. "Heard that I asked?" He nodded, scribbling in a pocket notebook. "She's pushing back." He's not fazed. Bad sign. He handed me a flash drive, his voice low. "New evidence. Tyler's funneling money through Joy's PR firm. Fake invoices, offshore accounts. She might not know." I pocketed the drive, my mind spinning. Joy's business, her life's work, a front for Tyler's dirty deals. It was a betrayal layered in betrayal, a knot I couldn't untangle yet. Dinner was a gauntlet. I sat beside Joy, her hand on my arm, her laugh bright for the guests. I cut my filet mignon, nodded at stories, but every smile was a lie. Tyler's table was close, Ellen beaming as he fed her a bite of cheesecake. My lawyer, Diane Walsh, had warned me, "No scenes, Glenn. Let the evidence speak." But the urge to flip the table, to call them out in front of 200 guests, was a live wire in my veins. The second twist hit during the dance floor opening. Joy had picked our song, Tim McGraw's My Best Friend, and couples swayed under the chandeliers. I stayed back, watching her charm a client's wife. My phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. Checked the club's office. Truth's there. My pulse spiked. I slipped away, telling Matt I needed a breather. The office was a small room off the lobby door ajar. Inside, an envelope waited on the desk, no name, just a note from a friend. I opened it, a USB drive and a single photo, Joy and Tyler in a downtown cafe, his hand over hers, time-stamped 3 months ago. My jaw clenched. Who sent this? An ally, a rival? I found Sam by the bar, handing him the drive. Could be a trap, he said, eyes narrowing. Or a gift. We ducked into a storage closet, Sam plugging the drive into his laptop. Audio files loaded, Joy's voice raw in a car with Tyler. "I'm done," she said, voice breaking. "I love Glenn. You're a mistake." Tyler's reply was cold. "You walk, I tank your firm. Those invoices, your name's on them." My fists balled. Blackmail. He wasn't just cheating, he was caging her. Sam's face darkened. "She's trapped, Glenn. Maybe more than you thought." I returned to the party, my head a storm. Joy was dancing with her dad, George Palmer, a retired mechanic with a laugh like gravel. He grinned at me, proud. I nodded, but my chest ached. Her mom, Ruth, was beside me, sipping Chardonnay. "She's glowing tonight." Ruth said, her eyes warm. "You're a lucky man." I swallowed the truth, choking me. How would I tell them their daughter was a liar, a pawn? The third twist came during my speech. I stood at the mic, the room hushed, Joy beside me, her hand trembling in mine. 18 years, I started, my voice steady, a loaded weapon. A life built on trust, love, and promises. Her grip tightened, her breath hitching. I scanned the crowd, Matt watching intently, Sam by the bar, Tyler smirking like he'd won. I'd planned to expose them, let the truth burn the room down. But the audio, the blackmail, shifted my aim. I pivoted, my voice low, deliberate. "Joy's built an empire," I said, turning to her. But empires fall when secrets grow too heavy. Her eyes widened, panic flashing. The crowd clapped, clueless, but she knew I was closing in. After the speech, she pulled me to a quiet alcove, her face pale. "What was that, Glenn?" she whispered, her voice shaking. "Just a toast," I said, cold. "Hit a nerve." She searched my face, then backed off, her heels clicking as she fled to the crowd. I watched her go, my heart a furnace. Sam caught my arm. "Smart move, holding off. We've got enough to nail Tyler's accounts. Let's do this clean." I nodded, but my eyes were on Joy, her smile a fragile mask as she hugged a guest. The party faded, guests spilling into the Nebraska night stars sharp above the plains. Tyler and Ellen left early, his hand on her back, her laugh trusting. I wanted to warn her, but Sam stopped me. "Not yet," he said. "We need more." I drove home alone, Joy staying to wrap up with the club staff. Our house was silent, the air heavy with her absence. I plugged the USB drive into my laptop, replaying the audio. Joy's voice desperate, begging Tyler to stop, his laugh sharp and cruel. I slammed the laptop shut, the crickets outside a restless hum. The next morning, Joy was quiet, brewing coffee, her eyes shadowed. "You didn't sleep," she said, sliding me a mug. "Work okay?" I stared into the steam, my voice flat. "You tell me." She froze, then busied herself with dishes, avoiding my gaze. I left for work, my office a blur of logistics reports and delivery schedules. My boss, Ray Tucker, noticed my edge. "You good, Glenn?" he asked, leaning on my desk. "Just life," I said. He nodded, tossing me a stress ball. "Sort it out, man." Sam called at noon. "Tyler met another woman this morning," he said. "Not Joy. Lauren Gibbs, his CFO. Same hotel, different suite." My grip tightened. "And Joy?" I asked. "She's at her office pitching a client. No contact with Tyler." I exhaled, but the relief was thin. I spent lunch at a park by the Missouri River, staring at the water, replaying every lie. Joy's laugh, Tyler's smirk, Lauren's name, my own blindness. That night, Joy tried to bridge the gap. She set out ribs, cornbread, a bottle of bourbon. "We need to talk," she said, her voice soft. I nodded, bracing myself. "I've been swamped." She started twisting her napkin. "I've let you down, Glenn. I'm sorry." Her eyes searched mine, but I saw the cracks, guilt, fear, maybe regret. "That's all I asked," my tone sharp. Her lips parted, but no words came. "I love you," she whispered, desperate. I stood, clearing my plate. "Good to know," I said, walking away. Her sob followed me upstairs, but I didn't turn back. The fourth twist came via Matt. He called, his voice tense. "Saw Joy at a law firm downtown meeting some suit. Looked heavy." My stomach dropped. Another man I drove to the address he sent, spotting Joy outside with a gray-haired man in a tailored coat. They were intense. No smiles, just papers and gestures. I snapped a photo, sending it to Sam. "That's Victor Lang," he said. "Corporate attorney, specializes in fraud. Tyler's firm uses him." My mind raced. Was Joy covering her tracks or digging into Tyler's? I tailed her the next day, borrowing Matt's F-150. She met Victor again, this time at a coffee shop. Her laptop open, spreadsheets glowing. I stayed back, watching through the glass. She looked focused, not scared. I sent the photos to Sam. "She's building a case," he said. "Maybe against Tyler. Maybe for herself." Divorce, fraud, I couldn't tell. The uncertainty gnawed at me, a blade twisting deeper. I confronted her that night, no games. "Who's Victor Lang?" I asked, leaning against the fridge. Her coffee mug slipped, shattering on the tile. "A client," she stammered, kneeling to clean the mess. "Business." I stepped closer, my voice low. "Don't lie, Joy." Her eyes welled, but she held my gaze. "I'm fixing things, Glenn. Please trust me." I laughed, bitter. "Trust you? Torch that." She flinched, tears falling. "I'm trying," she whispered. I turned away, the broken mug a jagged mirror of our marriage. Sam's next report was a bombshell. Victor wasn't just Tyler's lawyer. He was investigating Tyler for laundering money through his fintech firm hired by Ellen Branson, who'd spotted odd transfers in their accounts. Joy had tipped Ellen off, anonymously dropping a flash drive at her charity office with bank records she'd found in Tyler's briefcase. She'd been working with Victor to expose him, risking her firm, her reputation. My jaw dropped. Joy, my cheating wife, was playing whistleblower. It didn't erase her lies, but it shifted the battlefield. I met Ellen at her charity's office, a cozy space with photos of kids she'd helped. She was warm, tired, her eyes heavy. Joy's brave, she said, sorting donation forms. She didn't have to do this. Tyler fooled us both. I nodded, my throat tight. Did she tell you about them? I asked. Ellen's gaze softened. She said she was weak, fell for his game. Said she loves you, always has. I left the office's bell jingling, my mind a tangle. Joy had betrayed me, but she'd also risked everything to take Tyler down. Was she a victim or a villain back home? Joy was packing a suitcase. I'm staying with my mom, she said, her voice steady but fragile. I've hurt you, Glenn. I need space to figure this out. I stared, rage warring with grief. Running? I asked. She shook her head, tears falling, facing it. For once. She left the door clicking shut, the house echoing with her absence. I sank onto the couch, her burner phone in my hand, the rain a steady drum outside. The fifth twist came from Nate, my assistant. He showed up at my office, eyes wide, clutching a laptop. I hacked Tyler's email, he said, voice low. Found something big. He opened a file, messages between Tyler and a board member, Greg Vaughn, plotting to pin the laundering on Joy's firm if it went south. They planned to frame her, Nate said. Tyler's been using her accounts as a shield. My blood boiled. Joy wasn't just a pawn, she was a scapegoat. I thanked Nate, my mind racing. Was she in deeper than she knew? The sixth twist hit the next day. Sophie came to me after school, her soccer bag slung over her shoulder, her eyes nervous. Dad, Mom's been asking weird stuff, she said, sitting on the porch. What kind? I asked, my voice calm but my pulse spiking. About your work, your meetings, your trips. She said it's for a client, but it felt off. My heart sank. Was Joy still playing Tyler's game, or was she digging for leverage? Thanks, kid, I said, ruffling her hair. Keep it between us. She nodded, her eyes searching mine, a kid caught in a war she didn't understand. I called Sam that night. Joy's asking the twins about my work. I said, my voice tight. Check her communications. He sighed. Glenn, this could mean she's still in with Tyler, or she's scared and fishing for info to protect herself. I leaned against my truck, the Omaha skyline glittering across the river. Find out, I said. I need to know who she's fighting for. The seventh twist came from an unexpected source, Ruth, Joy's mom. She called, her voice shaking. Glenn, Joy's at my place, crying her eyes out. She says she's in trouble, something about Tyler and money. She's scared for you and the twins. My grip tightened on the phone. What kind of trouble? Ruth hesitated. She wouldn't say. Just, she's terrified, Glenn. Come talk to her. I hung up, my mind a storm. Was Joy playing Ruth too? Or was she genuinely scared? I didn't know what to believe. But the anniversary fallout was coming, and I was running out of time to decide. The morning after Joy left for her mom's, our Dundee home felt like a ghost town. Her coffee mug sat on the counter, a faint lipstick stain mocking me. Her note, still unopened from Rachel's delivery, burned a hole on the kitchen island next to my untouched whiskey. I hadn't slept, my mind replaying Sophie's words about Joy's strange questions, Nate's hacked emails exposing Tyler's plan to frame her, and Ruth's desperate call about Joy's fear. Was she a liar, a victim, or both? I poured coffee, the steam curling like my doubts, and stared at the Omaha skyline, its lights dimmed by a morning drizzle. Tyler Branson was a predator, but Joy had chosen to dance with him. Now, with the feds circling, I needed to decide, destroy her or save her. I drove to work, the software company's office, a blur of screens and deadlines. My phone buzzed. Sam Carver, my PI, his voice clipped. Tyler's moving fast, he said. Met a guy at a truck stop, looked like a fixer. He's planning to skip town, Belize, maybe. Ellen's divorce filing spooked him, and Joy's evidence is tightening the noose. I gripped my steering wheel, parked outside a warehouse, the smell of diesel sharp. What about Joy? I asked. She's at her mom's, no contact with Tyler. But she's been emailing Victor Lang nonstop. Legal stuff encrypted. I exhaled, my breath fogging the windshield. Dig into those emails, I said. And Tyler's fixer. I need everything. I met Matt Hensley for lunch at a taco truck downtown, his work boots scuffed, his eyes sharp. You read Joy's note yet? He asked, biting into a carnitas taco. I shook my head, sipping a Coke. She's blowing up Tyler's world, Matt. Tipped off his wife, gave the feds a paper trail. But she still lied to me, used the twins to spy. Matt leaned back, wiping salsa from his chin. Sounds like she's caught in a trap, Glenn. Question is, do you pull her out or let her sink? I stared at the Missouri River, its current steady, unyielding. I don't know if I can forgive her, I admitted. He clapped my shoulder. You don't have to. Just decide what you can live with. That afternoon, I called Ellen Branson at her charity office. She agreed to meet at a park bench by Fontanelle Park, her scarf fluttering in the wind. Joy saved me, she said, her voice soft but firm. She dropped that drive at my office, no name, just a note saying check his accounts. It's why I hired Victor. Tyler's been stealing from our foundation for years. Her eyes met mine, tired but fierce. Did she tell you about them? I asked, my throat tight. Ellen nodded. She said she fell for his charm, thought it was just a fling. Said she loves you, always will. She's trying to make it right. I looked away, the park's bare trees stark against the gray sky. Thanks, I muttered, leaving her words heavy in my chest. The eighth twist hit that evening. I was in my home office staring at Joy's note when Nate Callahan, my assistant, texted, "Found something big. Meet me at the Old Market pub." I drove over, the neon lights buzzing the air thick with fried food and regret. Nate slid a tablet across the table, his face pale. "Tyler's been hacking your company's servers," he said. "He's got access to your logistics contracts, $50 million worth. Emails show he's planning to sell the data to a competitor if the feds close in." My jaw clenched. Joy know about this? Nate shook his head. No mention of her in the emails. But there's more. He's got a file on you, travel logs, meeting notes. Looks like he was building a case to frame you too. My blood ran cold. Tyler wasn't just playing Joy. He was targeting me, my career, my life. I drove home, Nate's tablet heavy in my passenger seat. Tyler was a chess player, moving pieces to take us both down. Was Joy his pawn or his partner? I called Sam, my voice low. "Tyler's hacking my company," I said. "Find out how deep it goes." Sam whistled. "This guy's a snake, Glenn. I'll trace the server breach. But Joy's emails to Victor mention a threat to you." She's scared, man. I leaned against my desk, the Omaha skyline glittering through the rain. Scared of what I asked. "Could be Tyler," Sam said. "Or she's scared you'll find out everything." I hung up, my mind a war zone. The note from Joy sat unopened, a ticking bomb. The next day I drove to Ruth's house in Council Bluffs, just across the river. Ruth answered, her face lined with worry. "Joy's a wreck," she said, letting me in. Joy was in the living room, curled on a couch, her eyes red, a laptop open beside her. She stood when she saw me, her voice breaking. "Glenn." I held up a hand, stopping her. "I know about Tyler," I said, my voice steady. "The affair, the laundering, the hack on my company. And you using the twins to spy on me." Her face crumpled, tears spilling. "The twins," she choked. "I didn't. Tyler asked me to set it was for a client pitch. I thought it was harmless." I stepped closer, my voice low. "Harmless? You lied to my face, Joy. For months." She sank onto the couch, sobbing. "He threatened to ruin my firm, Glenn. Said he'd frame me for his deals. I was stupid, but I love you. I'm trying to fix it." My chest ached, rage and grief colliding. "You chose him," I said. "Every lie, every night you chose him." She shook her head, tears falling. "I chose wrong. I'm fighting him now." I turned away, the room heavy with her regret, Ruth watching silently from the doorway. I left the drizzle turning to a downpour. Back in Omaha, I met Diane Walsh, my lawyer, at her office. I handed her Nate's tablet and Sam's latest report. Tyler's hacked contracts, his plan to frame Joy and me. "This is a goldmine," Diane said, scanning the files. "Feds will love it. Tyler's looking at fraud laundering, maybe cybercrime. Joy's clean legally, she didn't know about the hack." I nodded, relief mixing with anger. "What about us?" I asked. Diane leaned back, her pen tapping. "Divorce is clean, no alimony, your assets safe, but if you want to try, that's on you." I stared at her desk, a photo of her kids laughing. "I need time," I said. That night I opened Joy's note. "Glenn," it began, her handwriting shaky. "I broke us. Tyler was a thrill, a mistake I'll regret forever. I'm fighting him now, not for you, but because it's right. I don't expect forgiveness. I just want you to know I love you always." I folded it, my eyes burning, the rain a soft drum outside. I called Dr. Mark Hensley, my therapist. "I'm drowning," I admitted. He was steady, blunt. "You're allowed to love her and hate her, Glenn. Don't decide tonight." I hung up the silence, heavy the note a weight in my hand. The ninth twist came at dawn. Sam called, his voice urgent. Feds nabbed Tyler at a private airstrip, he said. Fraud, laundering, cybercrime he's done. Ellen's evidence plus Joy's sealed it. I leaned against my kitchen counter, relief washing over me. And Joy? I asked. She's cooperating with the feds, gave them everything, emails, invoices, even the burner phone. She's in the clear. I exhaled, the morning light cutting through the blinds. Tyler was gone, his empire ash. But Joy and I were still a battlefield. I drove to Council Bluffs again unannounced. Joy was in Ruth's backyard, sitting by a fire pit staring at the flames. She stood when she saw me, hope flickering in her eyes. Glenn, she started, but I cut her off. I know about the feds, I said. You took him down. Her eyes welled, but she held my gaze. I had to, she whispered. For Ellen, for me. For us. I studied her. The woman I'd loved for 18 years, now fractured but fighting. You broke me, Joy, I said, my voice low. But you're still here. Her tears fell, but she didn't look away. I'll fight for you, Glenn, if you'll let me. I didn't answer, the fire crackling between us, the air thick with unspoken promises. The 10th twist hit the next day. Ethan came to me after soccer practice, his cleats muddy, his face tense. Dad, Sophie and I, we heard Mom talking to Grandma. She said Tyler threatened to hurt you if she didn't play along. My heart stopped. Hurt me, how, I asked. Ethan swallowed, his voice low. Something about your job, your contracts. He said he'd make it look like you were stealing. My blood ran cold. Tyler's hack wasn't just about money, it was personal. A blade aimed at my career, my life. Why didn't she tell me, I asked. Ethan shrugged his eyes, searching mine. She said she was protecting us. Is that true, Dad? I ruffled his hair, my voice steady. I'm finding out, kid. I called Sam, my voice tight. Tyler threatened me directly, I said. Check his burner for anything about my job. Sam sighed. Already did. Found texts he planned to leak, fake documents, make it look like you were siphoning company funds. Joy stopped him, gave the feds the proof. My jaw dropped. Joy hadn't just blown the whistle on Tyler's laundering, she'd saved my career. I leaned against my truck, the Omaha skyline glinting across the river. She's telling the truth, I asked. Looks like it, Sam said. She's been playing both sides, Glenn, risking everything. I met Joy at a diner on Dodge Street, the neon sign buzzing the air thick with coffee and grease. She looked tired but resolute, her hair loose, no makeup. I read your note, I said, my voice steady. I know about Tyler's threats, the hack the frame job. Her eyes widened, hope flickering. I was scared, Glenn, she said, her voice raw. He said he'd destroy you, the twins, everything. I thought I could handle him, but I was wrong. I studied her, searching for lies, but all I saw was regret. You should have told me, I said, my tone sharp. I could have fought with you. She nodded, tears falling. I know, I'm sorry. I leaned back, the diner's hum fading, my heart a storm of love and rage. The 11th twist came from Diane. She called, her voice urgent. Tyler's firm was working with a rival company, mine, she said. They bribed an exec to tank your contracts if Tyler went down. Joy found out, tipped off the feds. They're raiding the rival's office now. My mind reeled. Joy hadn't just saved my career, she'd saved my company's biggest deal, a $75 million contract. She's clean, I asked. Diane laughed sharp. Cleaner than you think, Glenn. She's been feeding the feds intel for weeks, no deal for herself. I hung up the rain, a steady beat outside. Joy wasn't just a whistleblower. She was a warrior fighting a war I hadn't seen. I moved back home, but we slept in separate rooms. Joy started therapy, digging into her choices, her weaknesses. I saw glimpses of the woman I'd married, her laugh, her fire, but trust was a ghost flickering in the shadows. I met Nate for beers, his eyes searching mine. You're not divorcing her, he said, not a question. I sipped my IPA, the bar's country music a low hum. I don't know what I'm doing, I admitted. He grinned soft. You'll figure it out. I met Joy at a park by the Missouri River, the water glinting under a rare sunny sky. She looked worn but determined, her hair pulled back, no jewelry. I'm shutting down my firm, she said, her voice steady. Starting fresh, no secrets. I want to earn you back, Glenn. I nodded, my hands in my pockets. And us? I asked. She looked at the river, then at me. I'll fight for you every day, even if you walk away. Her words hit like a freight train, a spark of the joy I'd loved. We walked along the bank, not touching, just talking about our first date at a Huskers game, our fights over Bill's the twins' first steps. It wasn't a fix, not a clean slate, but it was a start. Dr. Hensley's words echoed, "Love doesn't erase pain, but it can endure it." Maybe he was right. The final twist came a week later. Sophie found me in the garage, her eyes nervous. "Dad, I found something in Mom's office." She handed me a USB drive labeled "For Glenn." I plugged it into my laptop, my heart pounding. A video loaded, joy alone, tears streaming. "Glenn," she said, her voice raw. "If you're watching this, I'm gone or I've lost you. I messed up, let Tyler pull me in. But every move I made, after every email to Victor, every tip to Ellen, it was for you, for the twins. I love you. If you can't forgive me, I understand. Just don't hate me." The video ended, the screen black, my eyes burning. I didn't know if I could forgive her, but I didn't hate her. We were rebuilding, or maybe just learning to let go. I looked at Sophie, her face hopeful. "You okay, Dad?" she asked. I nodded, pulling her into a hug. "We'll be okay, kid." The future was a question mark, but for now I was here, the river flowing steady, a new chapter waiting. Like what you heard, hit that like button. Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to Revenge with Jack, because the next story might just be your favorite one yet. Did I do right by giving joy a chance? Or should I have walked away for good? Drop your take below.